Hey race fans, and welcome to the Pecino Report. It's season 2020-21, episode number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. Can you believe it? Wow. It's been a couple of weeks since we recorded. We've had some fantastic interviews with some riders. We've had, who have we had? We've had Darren Binder, we've had Jake Dixon, we've had Remy Gardner. You've got those on the podcast and the vodcast. Go and check them out. They're getting some amazing traction. They're absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. But for this episode, there's so much to talk about. There's been heaps going on. We've got riders going to the track finally. Oh, yes. And we've got dates confirmed. And we're actually starting to see 2021 bikes. It's incredible. It's real. It's really here. So before we get into it, it's a very quick hello and welcome to my co-host, Andra. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. I'm good. Do you know what I realized today? I'm so excited for Qatar because I have never seen, this is like deja vu now. I have never seen a night race.
You've never seen a race at Qatar. That's right.
Oh my God.
That's right. Nah, it's going to be great. It's going to be so cool. And El Jefe, how you going, boss?
Hola here from Spain. Yeah, good. Everything is, the winter is going away, so the sun is shining here in Madrid.
Fantastic. Everything's coming up, Pecino.
Yeah. And Andra, you will have the chance to see two night races in a row in Qatar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to work out today what the time difference is going to be if I have to chuck a sickie so that I can watch the race or not. Or the races.
It's always good to do that anyway. It is.
I mean, yeah.
Indeed. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight into it. And before we do get into all the detail, I want to stop just for a couple of minutes and just pay tribute to an absolute legend of MotoGP and motorcycle racing, Fausto Gresini, who unfortunately did pass this last week at the age of 60. Double world champion in 125s. Team principal for so long and has had so much success in MotoGP and all support categories. What an absolute legend, and it is heart-wrenching to see that he's left us this week. So it's absolutely terrible. Manuel, Jefe, before we move on, you obviously knew the man very, very well. What are your thoughts on Fausto?
Yeah, the whole community is completely shocked because it happens just a few days. He's completely shocked with this. Because Fausto was a young guy, 60, you know, he died of COVID, of course, and he fought for his life for 3 weeks, and at the end he didn't make it. You just mentioned his professional careers too, his brilliant professional career, but yes. I would underline more his personal side. You know, Fausto was basically, and I don't say it because he's not here anymore. He was a good person, you know, but a really good person, you know. I know that this is mostly said by anybody who leaves, but this time it's absolutely real. So it has been immensely shocking. And I have to tell you, look, we did 2 nights ago a fantastic program in an Italian TV where we were able to gather together different riders that raced for Fausto, and a technician who actually works for Aleix Espargaró in the Gresini team. Okay, but it was not a sad meeting. It was, I would say, a fun meeting. You know, they told a lot of anecdotes. It was not. We didn't want to say goodbye to Fausto. We just said thank you, Fausto. Beautiful. And just to tell a small anecdote, this guy who actually is the crew chief of Aleix Espargaró told us that in 1987, well, yeah, I think in 1997, he was at the Belgian Grand Prix as a wildcard racer. And at that time, Fausto just was world champion. So imagine him in 87, he went with a t-shirt, being a wild card, to see Fausto and ask him for a signature on his t-shirt. And then many years later, he worked with them. So he appeared in the box and showed Fausto the t-shirt. And he told me, do you remember this? And Fausto said, look, I have probably signed thousands of them. And he said, it was me as a young kid.
That's so cool.
So fantastic. Yeah, very nice stories. And a lot of stories. There were Alexandre Barros, the Brazilian, who started with Fausto, his team. There was Melandri, who finished runner-up in MotoGP with Fausto.
Yep.
There was Tony Elias, who was
Mhm.
a Moto2 world champion with Fausto. So for me, it was very emotional because I managed to put together, you know, Alessandro was in Brazil, Tony Elias in California, Melandri in Italy,
Mhm.
the other one, Antonio, in Spain. So, and this was only
So
possible
cool.
because it was Fausto's night.
Yep.
You
Yep.
understand?
That is very, very cool indeed.
Yeah,
What an
yeah.
absolute legend. And obviously, the man was from Imola, and there's going to be a private service next week held in Imola, but it is going to be streamed online. So if anybody's
Exactly.
interested, they can jump online and they can do that, and they can also contribute to the family as well. So there's the details available online. So what an absolute legend indeed. We'll have links to that as well on the show notes. So moving on. As we say, this last week we've seen an explosion of, I think, as El Jefe said just beforehand, catwalk experiences from all of the teams that are coming out. So we've had most of the team presentations. As we go to where the only ones that we're waiting for still are the Sepang Racing team and the Suzuki X-Star. But by the time you see this, the Suzuki team should have had their presentation. But I thought we'd take some time to go through some of those and ask the boss, Mr. GP himself, what he thinks of some of the comments that have been made, what he thinks of the teams, and what's gonna happen this year. What do you reckon, Manuel? Are you up for that?
Oh, yes. I would say that there is a general picture is that in all these presentation, everything is fine. You know, everyone
Yeah.
loves everyone.
Yeah.
Everything is flower power, and you know, like the 70s spirit.
Even Maverick and Fabio, I don't know who the lady was like, tell me one good thing about, Maverick, tell me one good thing about Fabio on the track and off the track. And they're all being so sweet.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then another important situation or a moment was having Mark Marquez back.
Mhm.
You know, so far we had seen Marquez doing videos and stuff
Mm.
where everything was more or less prepared. All the questions were the correct one. This time he faced dozens of journalists, you know, crazy to make all kind of questions.
Mm.
And I have to say that once again, he showed to be an extremely professional guy in this sense as well, not only on the bike.
Yep.
He didn't refuse any question. He answered all of them. Some were, how do you say, sweet, you know.
Yep.
Others were quite tough, but Mark did extremely well. I don't know, where do you want to start?
Well,
Tell
let's
me.
start there. Let's start with HRC. Why not? You know, that was one of the big ones, and as you say, everyone wanted to see Marquez. So realistically, from us on the outside, all we've seen is the canned video presentations that have happened with those, the little interviews, talking about people being nice. It was very much, oh, Paul, what do you think about Mark? Oh, what are your first memories of Mark? Oh, it was always very lovely, But yeah, just from those presentations for HRC, first of all, Manuel, what did you think of that one?
Well, the HRC stuff, I found two things interesting. The presentation video was a presentation video, okay? An official video where everything is like honey, you know?
Yeah,
but,
yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I would underline one thing that Kubata-san said, that is the engineer responsible of the MotoGP project. And he said, look, he said that as the engine could not be developed this winter because they are frozen, there wouldn't be much difference between the new bike and the last year's bike.
Yeah.
Which completely is a contradiction of what we have seen with Bradel. Bradel has tested here in Spain, in Jerez, several times. And the bike is completely different from last year's bike.
Yeah.
You know, the chassis is different, the swing arm is different, the exhaust is different, the fairing is different, the aerodynamics is different. But that's where I wanted to go. As the engine has not been changed or set up, or
Been frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, for the Honda engineers that are basically engine engineers, it's like nothing has happened, but the bike is completely different. That's funny. That shows how much Honda is obsessed with the engine. So if they can't change the engine, so for them is the rest is nothing.
Yeah, I
So
did note
for
that.
me, that
I
was
made
funny.
those exactly. I made those same notes where he was talking about no big changes to the engine because of the freeze, and so they've tried to focus on chassis and aerodynamics. And yeah, as you say, when we saw Bradle on the bike, yeah, there is a lot of changes, just not inside the engine.
Lot.
That's all. Yeah,
Or
Andrew, you had a
aesthetically.
question.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, obviously, without my understanding of the mechanical side of things, I got so excited to see these new bikes and went, oh, they look the same.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, what's
Yeah,
different?
no, but Andra, you have to think that, for example, aerodynamic wise, the fairings, the new fairings will be tested in Qatar in the
Okay.
tests, and they have to evaluate if they work better or not. You know,
Okay, yeah.
therefore, what you have seen the old bikes, meaning last year's bike.
Without
Exactly,
moving
yeah.
bits. Yeah.
The new is to come and to be tested.
Mhm.
Let's not get too deep into that. I do want to dig into that a bit later on when we talk about the testing. But look, for now, okay, so that's the canned Honda sort of presentation. What about the media presentation afterwards when you guys were actually, able to ask them whatever questions you want? How did that go?
Look, it was funny because going back to Marquez, okay, let's focus on Marquez. Marquez, when I was listening to him and answering all these questions, I was really impressed. He caught me. I fall in his trap, and what I consider a trap. I said,
And well,
wow.
I'm disappointed.
No, I said, wow, Mark has changed. He is. And then, as a journalist, I went through everything and I started to say, no, because my job is not to trust anything what they say, basically.
Of course, yeah.
And analyze, let's say analyze.
Mhm.
And then I realized that Mark's speech was the perfect speech. It was, he said everything what we wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But everything in all aspects. It was fantastic.
Yep.
I have to congratulate the one who has prepared this show up, and I have to congratulate him because he had the script learned incredible.
Nice.
But all the areas, starting, he spoke about the doctors, he spoke about how he feels, he spoke about how he has suffered during this month. It was incredible, and congratulations because they did a fantastic job.
Nice. So what's the latest with his recovery? We're hearing in the last few weeks that his recovery is coming along a bit faster than they thought. So when do we think we're going to see him on a bike?
Yes, look, I will upload the article I imagine this weekend on Pecino GP that explains, the headline is Marquez return, the 3 possible options. Okay. And it's very interesting. It's very interesting because now it seems that the recovery is really getting fast, pushing fast. And Mark admitted in that meeting, he appeared in the press conference that he wanted to test in Qatar.
Ooh.
He wanted to test in Qatar, but the doctors said no. And this time, he is following doctor script to the period,
Yeah.
Okay.
He daren't.
Be like, yes, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I would say I put my doubt. Okay, probably he's convinced after everything he went through that he has to follow doctors. But I can tell you, in my opinion, it's quite clear that this time he will not have the last word.
Yep.
This time it's Honda who will say that. In one of his answers, he says, I wrote it down here. Hang on. Okay, he says, last time I jumped on the bike when it was not time to do it.
Yep.
Then he said, but the doctor said that I could do it. Attention. And then he said, but I have realized that such an important decision, I have to consult at least other 2 or 3 person
professionals
or whoever. So it's not anymore the doctor say I can go. I have to check another 2 or 3 before taking such a decision.
Yep.
So it's clear, you know. He doesn't lie. He sends a message, and you have to read between the lines. You understand?
So do you reckon we'll see him in Portugal or Jerez? What do you reckon?
Hang on. No. Look,
but wait, there's more.
His return in the test would have been the best, because in a test, he has 3 days, 3 full days of testing. In a test, you start at 10 o'clock and you finish at 18 in the evening.
Yep.
So for somebody, yes?
I was just going to, because I obviously haven't seen the testing before. Can you just quickly tell me what to expect? Is it pretty much like they cover the whole day and you just watch bits and pieces, or will they do special coverage to show you the highlights of the test, or is it something?
Normally they covered everything, but the test don't think that it's like a race, because there are moments where there is nobody on the track.
Yep.
You know, and then there are 2 bikes, and then they do 3 laps and come in. So to watch this the whole day, you have to have a whole day off.
So is there much commentary, or is it you don't really know what's going on until they start?
Imagine if you have to talk for 8 hours about something.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Look at the birds flying past.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine P1, right? You know how you get the Friday P1 session. Imagine that for 10 hours. That's basically.
Yeah, but they obviously put the coverage on, but it's
yeah. That's right.
Okay, so let's go.
Okay, Mark.
If he would have returned in testing, would have been perfect for his recovery, because he could have done 5 laps, stopped 1 hour, get on the bike again, you know. Because the thing is that Mark has to test himself, not the bike. As this won't happen, imagine the situation if he returns in a Grand Prix. He will have 45 minutes in P1, surrounded by guys who just want to go fast. So the situation is complicated. Okay, he said that he won't be at the test in Qatar, but he said also, I haven't discharged to be at the Grand Prix.
Oh, yeah, so he hasn't ruled it out.
No, because the last test finishes the 12th of March. The first Grand Prix is the 28th of March.
Yep. So
he has a couple of weeks there to get fit. It will depend. He has a doctor. He has to go to the doctor and do the last check middle of March. If they give him green light, it will depend. He says that it will depend on his physical condition, if he goes to Qatar or not. In my opinion, going to Qatar would be a big mistake, would be too early, because he will be far away from Europe, where his doctors are. If he has any problem, he would have been sent back to Europe. There is no need, and it would be very early, you know.
Yeah, it's unneeded pressure.
Exactly. And then there is another thing. Sorry, Andra, just finishing. After 5 days testing, all the riders will have the bike perfectly set up.
Yep.
The difference between the riders will be super small, tenths of a second. So Marquez could be caught in a situation fighting for the 15th, 10th position.
Yep.
With rider with no experience in MotoGP. This will put him in a situation unnecessarily risky, you know. And which would be the benefit of this? Nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. So he stands more to lose than to gain if he was to
absolutely
do it.
Absolutely. If he does it, I think it would be a risk, an unnecessary risk.
Yep.
Okay.
And we've all seen what happens when he does that. Yep.
Exactly. Because he said, well, later we go. Option 2, Portugal.
Yep.
From the first test in Qatar, March 6th, to Portugal weekend, 41 days. Plenty of time for him to physically recover, to catch up his physical condition. Plenty. Yep. The problem is Portugal. The problem is he has never raced in Portugal. We saw what Portugal is like, you know, a roller coaster.
Really stressful on the body.
Exactly. And he has not. So instead of concentrating in himself, he would need to concentrate in him and in learning the track.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Time-wise, it would be interesting. I think he would be ready time-wise.
Mm.
This is the problem in Portugal. And then we arrive in Jerez.
Yep.
Jerez is the perfect place. Okay. He would have had a long time to get physically in condition. The track he knows very well. We saw how he rode when last time, how fast he was. So he would concentrate only in himself, because I imagine he can do this track with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
But to get to Jerez, look, I am planning like the manager. It would be perfect to have one test day in Jerez.
Yeah.
For himself.
Yeah.
You know, because he has the option to test five days a year. He could perfectly spend one of these days in Jerez.
Do a private test.
Before private test, probably maybe during the Portugal Grand Prix, he could test there, or no, 2 weeks before. He has to test 2 weeks before. And this could happen because all the material would be in Spain after the Qatar test. All the bikes, everything would be in Spain for Portugal and Jerez. So the perfect situation, in my opinion, in my modest opinion, is work a lot on your physical condition, get ready, do a private test for one full day where he can get in slowly, and then race in Jerez. He will not be 100% in Jerez, but what he showed last year before he crashed, you know, he was so much better that probably even not being 100%, he would be there.
70% Marquez equals 100% anybody else.
Exactly, especially in Jerez. So this is, in my opinion, an analysis of the 3 scenarios of Marquez comeback.
Yeah, makes sense to me, definitely. So Pol Espargaro, anything to report from him from the season launch, or just what was expected?
Yeah, Paul was like, I don't know, he was like in the shadow in this presentation.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Everyone was focusing on Mark, and he won't have an easy time, you know, because he's everyone in Honda underlined that we have hired Paul to get results.
Yeah.
Even his new crew chief, for me, he was, wow. He said, look, in the first part of the championship, he has to aim doing podiums straight.
No pressure.
And then exactly. And then he has to fight for the championship because he's sitting on a winning championship bike.
Yeah.
Bang. So no mercy. You know?
Right.
And Paul himself, obviously, after hearing all this, he said, okay, I know that I can't spend the first half of the season trying to get used to that bike. He said, and I have to be competitive from the start. And this isn't easy, not having had the chance to test.
Yeah. It's a poison chalice. Isn't it? It really is, yeah.
So he might surprise us. I don't dislike him as much. He seems a bit more positive and likable.
Yeah, Andra, you are caught like me from Marquez speech.
Yeah, maybe,
like
maybe
in the cloud. Get out of the cloud.
In the smoke and the mirrors. Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right, let's move forward.
Stu, quickly. About Paul. He said the following. He said, "Look, the worst part of this bike, there have been great riders who have jumped on this bike and have had problems.
Yep.
Meaning Lorenzo, meaning all others. So he said, I know that the most critical part of this bike is the braking, where the front slips away. Okay. He said, I will have to learn where the limit is on the test in Qatar. So, and this means that I will have to crash. To see where this limit is. Look the pressure he's under.
Indeed.
Don't envy
I
that.
suppose, yeah, Qatar, there's worse places to crash. There's loads of runoff. You're not really going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, but at the end, he goes in, he jumps in, having clear that he has no time,
Yeah.
Because when you sit on that bike, you have to have learned before. You are not there to learn.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
arrive with your lesson learned.
How do you
which
think
did-
he'll go, Manuel, though? Because he's obviously, very experienced and
most of the people, I would say 90%, have the opinion that he won't do better than he did with KTM.
what do you think,
Interesting.
Manuel?
I have faith on him, but I'm starting to doubt,
Nice. I'm gonna
Yeah.
reserve my opinion until the mid-season break. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. I'm gonna sit on the
Nice.
fence.
You
Indeed,
big chicken.
I am indeed. Okay, so staying with Honda, LCR Honda. I found that interesting that they had two completely separate presentations. They didn't have a team presentation. They had one for Takasan and then another one for the other guy.
Yeah. And the presentation was done in the same place. In fact,
exactly the same place. Yeah.
the presentation was done alongside with the Team Repsol presentation.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, they did it in the same place. It was a theater and in Cervera, where Marc Marquez lives.
Yep,
So
that's
imagine
right.
all the presentation from Japan, from Italy, went to Marc's village because it's almost not a city.
Yep.
This shows how important and how strong Marc's rules inside Honda. No? Well,
Yes.
the presentation, I think they wanted clear, as they don't have the same sponsor. The two sides of the garage, it was, I think, intelligent or smart doing two, because then you give your sponsor the protagonism.
Yeah, I did like that. And that's clearly one of the things that, the Idemitsu side of things, that's a very, very powerful sponsor. They expect to see their own thing there.
Exactly.
Good. And then you got the Castrol one on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, and there was no much new. The only good news about this is that Nakagami finally will get the same bike than the other one. Yep. For the first time, I think, ever, Honda will have 4 same bikes.
Current spec bikes. Yeah, that's right. It's fantastic. The only other note I had was it was good to see that Alex still has his 2 little dash hands on the back of his helmet. That was it.
But the colors they've got for that bike, like going back to the old days.
But the Castrol colors on Alex's bike, they're very much the traditional Castrol colors, the green, white, and red.
Okay.
Sometimes through the season they have real old school versions of it as well.
Yeah, because they have the how Cecchinello runs the team. He runs with small sponsors. So in some places, in Italy, for example, the main sponsor turns into GB. It's
right.
and Italy in England, it's Castrol. It depends on the market. He uses a different main sponsor. And just to finish the story, I have to say 2 things. One is the sponsorship of Alex Marquez is not closed yet. They are trying that Estrella Galicia appears on the sponsors. Estrella Galicia, that has finished sponsoring Moto2 and Moto3 teams and is at this moment personal sponsor of the Marquez brothers. Obviously, and Estrella Galicia went to Formula 1 with Carlos Sainz in Ferrari.
Yeah,
but they want to have some sticker of Estrella Galicia on the bike. And the second and last thing about that thing,
they should have those stickers on the bike. They should have a Pecino report. That would be cool.
And the last thing is they have the 2 most educated riders in the whole paddock.
Yes,
they are
they do.
so educated, so nice. Look, it's like the son that every mother wanted to have, Both are super nice. Very good. Very good.
Nice guys, exactly. Okay, so let's move on to Ducati.
Whoa!
Straight into it. Bang. The Ducati course launch. Again, I thought that was extremely canned. We really didn't hear anything. It was a 45-minute ad for Lenovo. That's all it was. Just talking about the power of data and all this sort of stuff. I really didn't get anything out of that. Did you get anything out? Well, actually, the only thing I did get out of it is that they're putting all the pressure on Jack, and they're telling Jack that he needs to calm down and sometimes accept third or fourth. That's all I got out of it.
For me, look, the most surprising is for the first time since 2003, Andrea, when Ducati jumped in the championship, Marlboro won't be, or Philip Morris isn't the main sponsor anymore.
Yeah.
That's a huge step. That's a huge step. You know, Philip Morris has been like the flag of Ducati project since 2003.
Yep.
And now it's Lenovo. You know, Lenovo will be the title sponsor, and Philip Morris has jumped back to a Philip Morris is at the same level than Audi in the sponsorship.
Yep.
Okay, so for me that was a surprise. And the second is what you said. Look, it's like we want to win the championship, like the same.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Did they say something about something to do with the new rear tire or something they've done with the rear?
Oh, yeah. They went back to the rear, why the problems Dovizioso had with the rear tire, papa.
Don't they switch the tires out, or is this to do with the mechanics that controls the tire rather than the tire? What?
No, it's the way you use the tire. Because if it was the tire, others would have the same problem.
Well, exactly.
They had no problem with the tire. So it's how you use the tire. Okay. And there is something I want to say here about Ducati. Last season, there were also 6 Ducati riders like this year, right? I had the numbers I was looking at, but I don't find them, but I know more or less. Last year, somewhere here. The Ducati riders, if you counted all the victories they had and the podiums, it was kind of altogether they had 19 victories and 59 podiums or something like this. The Ducati riders this year, they have 1 victory in MotoGP.
All rookies,
and it's Jack victory, and it wasn't on a Ducati. So last year they had Dovizioso, who had won. They had Petrucci, who had won. This year, none of them has won a Grand Prix on a Ducati. None of them. Okay, wow. You compare these figures with KTM. KTM last year they had not won 1 Grand Prix. This year they have. Now 2 victories with Oliveira, 2 victories with Petrucci, 1 with Binder. You know, it maybe it's stupid, but when Ducati comes out and say no, because we are winning, we are fighting for the championship. Hang on, your rider firstly have to win a race.
Exactly. Yeah, very strange.
One step at a time.
Yeah, that's right. What sort of chance do you give them this year, Manuel, from what you've seen so far? I know we've seen Michele Pera on track, but none of the other Ducati riders have managed to get out because it was wet. Poor things, they didn't want to get wet.
No, and don't forget that they went out on street bikes on the Panigale before. Yeah, it was not a normal bike because they can't ride this, and riders are using street bikes to get used to ride, basically. Look, before yesterday in Barcelona, there were Alex Rins and Joan Mir on Suzuki J6R 1000. There was Alex Espargaro on an Aprilia RSV, also a superbike.
Yep.
There were Sarko was on his Panigale before, you know.
Yep.
Jack was there. And he said, whoa, it looks like a Grand Prix, but on street bikes.
Yeah. I saw he was there with Jonathan Ray as well, talking to Jonathan Ray.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that. But I spoke with Pirro I asked him, does it help to ride a street bike? I mean, to get trained to... He said, look, it's like riding a car and a bike. So riding a street bike is zero compared with riding MotoGP. The braking, the acceleration, the turning, the electronics. The only thing is that you are hacked on a big bike as well.
Yeah.
This is the difference.
Crazy. So the Pramac team.
Look, sorry, a small anecdote. All Ducati riders were in Jerez riding the street bikes.
Yes. Yep.
6 of them, right? Because Ducati did kind of a riders day, so they get friend with each other, family day, a Ducati family day,
a family day. Yeah, exactly.
and Ducati family day. So at the end, in the last session of the last stint, all of them went together on the track, the 6, to take picture and to show. Well,
yep.
I won't mention names, okay? One crashed.
Oh, God, really?
And another one exploded the engine.
No.
Well, it's normal. No, while they were riding separate, it was like that. While they were together, there are no brothers and sisters. There are no brothers and sisters anymore,
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's
and
insane.
another one who destroyed the bike in Almeria circuit here in southern Spain was Alex Rins. This didn't come out, but he destroyed into pieces his bike in Almeria. Luckily, he had with no
injuries or anything.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
That's the preseason. That's the preseason.
That's the preseason for you. So moving to Pramac, so we're seeing that they're getting the GP20s as well this year. Sorry, Zarco is getting the GP20. But the Avinci guys, they're still on the GP19, yeah?
Yeah, Zarco and his teammate Jorge Martin will get the same specs that the factory bike.
So Jorge Martin's getting the same spec as Zarco as well, as I wasn't sure about that.
There were really four specs like that.
Okay, cool.
So before yesterday, I spoke with Zarco. Look the story. I asked him, hey, Johan, after Carl and Danilo have left, Dovi have left, you are now one of the oldest guys in MotoGP. Yeah, because suddenly he turned into the oldest. Because so he said, well, yeah, but I don't feel like this, but I have to say you something. Sometimes when I hear the other kids talking, I ask myself, what the hell are they talking about?
Well, there you go.
So he does feel old.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. He was just heading to play golf because he is different from the others. He plays piano, he plays golf. I don't know.
He'd be like, what's this TikTok thing the kids are talking about these days?
All the cool kids are doing it. And what about Martin? How's Jorge seem to be fitting into
Number 89.
Number 89.
Martin, I have to say, he's from Madrid, like me. And he is very close to Jorge Lorenzo's father.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
And I have a YouTube channel with Jorge Lorenzo's father. So he has told me that Jorge Martin has worked so hard this winter. I don't know if I told you, he and Chicho went through all the last year Grand Prix videos, but watching on Joan Mir.
Ah, right. I see.
Why?
Because he's world champion.
Good question, Andrea. Because Mir was especially strong in 2 things last year. In overtaking and in braking.
Staying on? Oh.
Staying on the bike.
3 things.
Stay on the bike. In those 2 things, especially in braking, he's the best guy who brakes actually. So Martin wanted to see how he brakes and how does he prepare the overtakings.
Nice.
And it's not just watching, it's going there, stopping the video, going back, putting in slow motion, checking how his hands if you can see how his hands are breaking. So he's working very hard. That is good. It's not just I'm doing dirt tracks, but no. He's working.
He's actually doing intelligent study.
Exactly. And this is one of the characteristics of Martin. He's an intelligent guy.
Good. Okay, lovely. So Avintia, I noticed that was actually an in-person event. There was like stuff going on. There was like stunt riders and fireworks and all sorts of things. I thought, wow, that's crazy. What is this, 2019? It was insane.
Yeah, well, we were not surprised about the presentation of Avinti. I think nobody.
Yeah.
But what surprised me there is first the team manager, the guy who is supposed to run the team, was wearing Sky shirt.
Yes, VR46 shirt.
So exactly. So he's supposed to be neutral because the two riders will run two different teams, but he was there with the Sky clothes. So I said, I can't imagine how Bastianini was feeling.
Yeah.
Because between those two, Bastianini is the world champion.
Yes.
So he should be the one who should have had more protagonism. But amigo, when V46 jumps in, it's like it sucks the air of everyone who is around.
Exactly. Yeah, it sucks the air out of the room. It exactly does. That's right. Yeah, and look, it's a nice looking bike. The VR46 version is a very nice looking bike. It's it's going to be interesting to see how those two guys go. Out of Bastianini and Marini, what do you reckon?
It's clear that Bastianini is faster than him, but it's funny.
But he's a bell end.
He's a bell end. That's right. He's a bell end. That was Jake.
What's that? What is this?
It's I'll tell you offline.
We'll have to draw you a picture.
Okay, and between those two, to make it short, I would say it's funny. Look at this photo. The only one who's guaranteed a bike in Ducati for next year is Marini.
Yeah.
Because this team will turn into the future VR46 team in MotoGP.
Right. Exactly.
So he has guaranteed. And Bastianini has to show that he deserves to ride the Ducati because he will be fired next year from that team.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, and for all those that haven't seen it, this is news. If you haven't seen the old episode, Manuel broke this news a couple of months ago last year of exactly what's happening now. So always the man with his finger on the pulse.
So Bastianini is the one who has the pressure. Marini can race just relaxing,
Crazy backwards, like you say. Yeah, Bastianini is the world champion. He shouldn't be the one with the pressure. It's crazy. Indeed. Okay. All right. Let's move forward to the one I really want to talk about, KTM.
Wow.
That was again the presentation, very canned, all that sort of stuff. The thing that they did with the let's bring such and such onto the line, and they had the video conference, very cute and everything. But I just want to say that Tech 3 bike.
Oh my! Even I've been waiting for you to get to it because I'm like, that's the only one that I went.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! Like
that was stirring me in my nether regions. That's the new background on my home computer. Yeah. That is
on your bedroom wall. Do you put a picture of the bikes up above
on the ceiling?
What
do you reckon, Manuel?
It was astonishing. If you see the photo of Petrucci sitting on that bike, it looks like a mini bike because Petrucci is so huge, so big.
Yeah, put the grin on his face as well.
He looks like he's got a bit fitter. He looks like he's thinned up a touch.
Yeah, he does it always in winter. Sometimes he does it too much, and then in the first race he has no power, so he has to get weight back.
I have that problem all the time too.
I think that KTM has to pump up this bike to make it Petrucci size, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of pumping up the bike, have you heard what's going on with the engine? Because we were hearing all these rumors that they've got all these engine credits and they were going to put all this development into the engine.
Look,
and going to have this.
I am super excited, because we have seen that when these Austrians speak, they don't say the things for nothing, We look, when they arrived, they said, okay, we are going to be here for 5 years. We are going to do this on our way, on our style, with our suspension, with our type of chassis. And at that time we said, okay, this is the typical German, But now No, they have fulfilled everything they said. So
Yes.
I was, and look the analysis of what happens in KTM. The team owner of Tech 3, Hervé Poncharal, said a sentence that was, again, the sentence of the presentation. He said, for the first time, I'm starting a season as a factory team.
Yes, I heard that. Yeah.
When I heard
Again,
this,
I've written that down.
what does this mean? That KTM doesn't give the team the bikes anymore for them to run it. No, KTM has hired the structure. It's just a tool.
Yep.
So the four riders are full factory riders.
Exactly. And that means Tech 3 will get all of the engine development, all of the aero development, all of the computer analysis out of the factory and the support as well.
Wow.
Yes, and in the past, for example, okay, Tech 3 had a big help from KTM, but the engineers of KTM worked for their team.
Yep.
Now they work for four riders.
Centralized unit.
This shows the commitment of KTM and what they are pointing at. It's so clear. They are going for it. Look, remember in the last Grand Prix last year when Oliveira won, Pete Byler, who is the team principal, KTM sport manager, said, oh, this year we have achieved things that were planned to be achieved next year, meaning this. So this means that we can jump over 1 year and go in 2021 what we had ready for 2022.
Yeah,
exciting. And then he said, and he said clearly, because they don't hide, what they said they mean. He said, we will fight in 2021 for the championship.
Yep.
So are the riders good enough? If the bikes are amazing?
Yeah,
they definitely.
If they tell this, because what was planned for 2022, they have put it in 2021.
Yep.
Considering all the holdups with everyone else, then
Yes. Now, quickly, because there are so many things, I am so excited. Look, if we go through the riders, Brad has the super talent, right?
Yep.
Brad, the super talent.
And a year of experience in MotoGP.
Yes. And I trust him so much. And he's not Italian and Spanish and has all these things in his head that we Latins have, He's focused on his job. And then Oliveira has the experience. He's always super fast, has the experience of 2 years in MotoGP, only with that bike, so he can help in the development bike. And then we have Danilo Petrucci, who is a question mark, but look how smart the guys of KTM have been. With Petrucci, they have guaranteed themselves minimum a podium when it rains.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And during the season, you have 2 or 3 wet races. They have guaranteed themselves or a victory or a win or a podium. This has been a super smart move, in my opinion.
And I think it's a smart move as well, an Italian rider as well, to widen the appeal of KTM as well, to get some more of that Italian following as well. I think that's really, really smart.
And Stu, imagine that he's the only one who has been on another bike than KTM, because Binder doesn't know anything else. Oliveira doesn't know, and Lecuona doesn't know anything else. So he's the only one who can compare, say, maybe here.
He's another test rider. Realistically, they've got Danny, and now they've got Danilo as well. That's incredible.
And Danilo knows the working system of Ducati. Maybe he can explain, look, in Ducati, things are done this way. That is always, information is always power, Stu. You know that.
That's right. Indeed. Exciting. So, what sort of chance do you give them this year? What do you think? You're going to see some victories from them? Do you think there'll be an actual championship contender?
Look at his face. Look at his eyes.
Yeah. I shouldn't say this, but I admit I have turned into a KTM fan. I have turned into a KTM supporter, and I like a lot Brad. I have an interview with Miguel in a few days, 1-to-1. I am excited. I am excited with this.
Indeed. I was saying, well, I said at the end of last year, Brad Binder is my choice for world champion this year.
He's always made you funny in the nether region, hasn't he, too?
He has, yeah.
KTM can only disappoint me because for me, the expectations are so high for them, you know?
Yep. Indeed. Fingers crossed. Yep. So as I say, we haven't seen Suzuki yet, but, you know, by the time most people are watching this, it would have happened. So what have you got on the inside track on what's happening at Suzuki this year?
Yeah, we haven't seen the bike, but the team has been presented, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the new manager has been showed, the riders have spoken, the crew chiefs have spoken. Suzuki is doing very, very well their communication plan, because first they showed the new head of the Suzuki project, no, Sahara-san, the Japanese engineer, who will have two roles. He will have two roles. He will be the project leader and the manager. And there is a funny question about this. So he was before the project leader, Sahara-san. He has been the project leader. And Davide Brivio was the team manager, right? So Sahara-san is assuming the two roles. So my question is, or he didn't do anything last year before, or how will he do it? Because these are the two most important roles in a MotoGP team.
Yeah, exactly.
Project leader and team manager.
He's going to go and do both of them.
So, and days have only 24 hours. He can't stick them, you know. So for me, it's funny to see, or he hasn't worked really anything before, or he will get crazy.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to have a lot of help behind the scenes, clearly.
Yeah, no, but look, there will be a kind of a fight for power inside the garage.
Yeah,
because
we mentioned this.
Yeah, he said I would like to promote somebody from inside who knows how we work. So imagine what will happen there.
Yeah.
You know,
that's going to be an interesting year for Suzuki.
I foresee in this way, Suzuki will struggle. Look at this. Look at this. The presentation. No, the official is no, because we have spoken with the riders and they have understood that they have to help each other, because growing together, they grow individually as well. Yep. There will be no number one rider. 2 days later, 2 days later, Edra, in a most sold Spanish newspaper that big, Alex Rins. I feel like the number one in the Suzuki garage. Bang! Having on the other side the world champion.
Yeah.
You know, and I would ask you, and it's also for me, it was a kick in the chin, you know, in the chin.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
or the balls.
All somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, balls is too soft. The chin hurts more. And because he has decided not to use number one on his bike.
Yep. Right. Okay.
And this has upset me a lot. I may be stupid.
You
but
really thought he was going to?
Yeah, because what's the point? They all want to copy Valentino, thinking that, wow, what will happen with my marketing? Hang on, not even Mark is capable to compete on marketing with Valentino. Valentino, there is just one, you know, there is just one. Look, the most iconic number in MotoGP, besides Valentino, was Kevin Schwantz, 34.
34, yep.
And he used that number one when he won the championship. It's logical.
Someone will do it again. I'm confident someone will do it.
Yeah, someone will do it again soon. Yeah. I don't know. I'm starting to see cracks in the Suzuki team. I just think, that there may be some little political things in the background between the riders and in the hierarchy of the team that may see them struggle this year. That's just what I feel.
There are some interesting points. Suzuki has, I think we have spoken about this here, so to keep the momentum, to stay at the top, Suzuki will need to invest more resources. and more
Yes.
money, because we have seen Honda is crazy to get back that title. And when Honda gets crazy, amigo, it's like a tsunami. Okay.
Yeah.
And to face this, you need basically resources. And
Yes. Yeah.
I asked this to the project leader, Ayat Sahara-san. Having won and having your factory or your bosses in Japan seen how good you are, did you get more resources to keep uh, to stay at the top?
Mm-hmm.
He said basically no.
Oh,
So it will be difficult for them.
that's disappointing indeed. Okay, so and the last one I believe that we wanted to talk about. Well, there's the Sepang Racing team, but they haven't had their presentation yet. I know we have seen a picture of the bike, but no one's allowed to see it yet. Everyone will see it soon. But the other one, I suppose, is the Aprilia team as well. So I actually haven't seen the Aprilia team launch. What did you make of the Gresini team launch? Obviously, there was a lot going on with Fausto in the background, but what about the Aprilia team this year?
Well, look, Aprilia again. I just explained that the guy who runs Alexis Spargaro bike was at this Fausto tribute night,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Look, the problem is always the same. Salvadori, who is the second rider, he's not a MotoGP rider.
Mm.
So the problem is we are developing a new bike. When it comes to analyze how the bike works, if it's fast enough or not, with whom do we compare ourselves?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
The only thing is we can compare with Aleix Espargaró data from the day before, from the stint before. You know,
Yeah.
they don't know if they are going the right way. Okay, they may improve, but does Aleix take the most of that improvement? So they are like trapped in a circle. You know,
Yeah.
they will never go forward because
No.
they don't have information.
So you don't see any improvement for them this year?
Of course, they have to improve, but forget it. The rider hasn't won a Grand Prix in all his life.
Yep.
Aleix Espargaro. It's I probably the only no Lecuona also, but the only one of 23 rider who hasn't won a Grand Prix, and the bike is on developing phase. So amigo, forget it. They need
Fair enough.
money to hire
True.
a rider.
Yeah, that's it for a rider. Yeah, not for bike development, for a rider to give them the feedback. And they've got Bradley
Claro.
as their test rider. What feedback is he
Bradley.
going to give them?
No, Bradley argued with them. I don't know what happened, and he has just quitted from Aprilia.
Oh, is he completely quit? He's still listed on the team page as being a rider.
Probably they are fixing the contract.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Indeed.
What about we didn't talk about Yamaha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Monster Energy Yamaha. We haven't. Oh, how could we forget about them?
Oh my god!
Yeah, really?
Sorry, I thought maybe you were saving some big last
Look.
Yeah, no.
Yamaha is the big question mark, and I wrote another story, which headline says it all. You know that normally in history you put when you date something, you put a year 150 after Cristo, no? After
Yes,
Jesus.
yep, AD. Yep.
AD.
Yep.
So in Yamaha, it's first year 0 ADR46.
Yeah. AR. Yeah.
So
after
it's
Rossi.
Exactly. It's a complete new era. Complete.
Yeah.
Look up to the point that the first thing Maverick did was to change his seating in the garage.
I noticed that. Yeah, they went, oh, he's on that side straight away. He's gone, that's mine.
Look how important, because imagine if Quartararo, if Marquez would have rested where he was, and Quartararo would have seated on Valentino's. So, you know, this image would have immediately said, hey, Quartararo is on Valentino's seat.
Yep.
No, Maverick said, I want to go there because he on the paper is the new reference inside
Yep.
the garage.
New number one.
You know, it's all mental game.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. But yeah, it was all very lovey-dovey, wasn't it? Again, it was very teamwork. And the things I got out of it, again, they're talking about, obviously they can't mess with the motor, which is horrendous, but they're talking about wanting to improve consistency and reliability. And they said external engine performance, so things like exhaust, that sort of stuff. So it's exactly the same that Honda said, basically. They're going to look at making the bike more consistent and improving the chassis.
At least they go back to their fresh count for engines, right? For the year.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew, it's too soon.
But they also said, Stu, that the 2021 bike would be much closer to Morbidelli's 2019 bike
Yes.
than to the bike the factory riders used for 2020. So this means basically, it's very simple. This means that they switched back to the 2019 chassis.
They're just deleting the 2020 bike.
Yeah, and they are saying, probably they will say, no, it is not the 2019 chassis, it's an evolution.
Yeah, it's an evolution. An evolution.
If they admit this, you know, that would say, okay, we have thrown away millions of dollars, euros for nothing.
Exactly.
Okay,
And then Cal is their test rider.
Cal is who has not tested.
Yes, exactly. What's he doing?
Look, they said they haven't been able to test, not even in Japan. Not even the Japanese test rider tested there. And they said, no, well, we have problems and Japan is very far away. And I was thinking, hang on, where does Honda come from? Is the Honda's Japan closer than Yamaha's Japan?
It must be a different Japan.
2019, not 2020 Japan.
And Honda has been testing for months the new bike.
Yep.
It's a matter of organization. And what does this mean? And this is dangerous. And this puts a big shadow on Yamaha because KTM here in Jerez, they have been testing days and days and days. KTM.
Yep, Danny's doing laps.
Aprilia has tested. Pirro has tested. Honda has destroyed the tarmac they're testing. Yamaha, Cal will jump on the new Yamaha first time in the Qatar test. Okay. Cal hasn't ridden the Yamaha for how many years too? For last time. So
9?
Yeah. So he will jump on a bike. He will turn into a test rider of a bike he doesn't know.
Yeah, not at all. How
So
can you get feedback?
They are completely late. So the plan, they said,
because they were busy at a wedding.
Oh,
who?
Yamaha.
Yeah, look, they said, no, Cal will, the first day of testing, he will just ride the bike, get used to that bike, and then second day on, he will try to test parts. But they are late.
Yeah, definitely.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So moving over to things like testing. So obviously we didn't get the Malaysia test. That hasn't happened. So the first time that a lot of these people are going to be able to actually get on the bike properly, as you say, is going to be Qatar this next week, which is they're going to get one day next week and then another day later, I think later in the week on the 6th. And then that's it until the first race at the end of the month. So considering how many rookies we've got in the class this year that have never ridden a MotoGP bike before and they haven't had a chance to do any other tests, are some of these guys going to be really at a disadvantage when it comes to these first few races?
Well, I would say that all this testing, this double testing in Qatar is an advantage for them because when they will arrive at the first Grand Prix, they will know the track, they will know how the bike performed there. It will be much worse when they arrive in Europe. Imagine, I don't know, Bastianini, Marini. Remember that the third race will be in not easy Portimao.
Mm. Oh yeah,
Imagine them.
that's going to be fun.
They will have in their mind, in their brain still how they raced with the Moto2.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
the Moto2 bike has around 135 horsepower, more or less. 100. A MotoGP bike has 280.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, double it and then add a bit more.
So imagine the reference, the braking reference they had. Said, okay,
Yeah.
with the Moto2, I used to brake here. With the other one, you have to brake maybe 50 meters earlier, you know?
Exactly.
It's going to be interesting.
It will indeed.
Oh, yeah.
It will indeed. So out of all those new guys, who do you think is really in a position to be able to jump straight up to that high level? Like, you know, we saw Mir come in, you know, with his rookie year and he sort of struggled a little bit, but then he's straight into world championship mode. We saw Binder last year. He came in and he had a win straight away. Any of those guys really strike you as being able to, you know, really succeed straight away?
I don't know. Look, we have to have a look again. In Qatar, everything will be so close, Stu, so close. In the past, we have seen that Qatar is basically a Ducati circuit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And the only one who could put Ducati in a difficult situation was Marc Marquez, not the Hondas.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be good on the paper for Miller, you know, starting there will be good because he is fast and he has Ducati. So for the Ducati, they should start with a certain advantage, but after all these test days, this advantage will not be that big, right?
Yeah, true.
What will the track be like for KTM?
If the new engine is fast,
yes,
that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they have worked on the engine.
Look at that one conversation I just switched.
And the third race is basically Oliveira's race again in Portimao. Yeah. So they have 2 races, and then you know if they can start the championship pretty strong.
Bloody oath.
KTM.
Yep.
Stu, let me comment you about something that I have missed to comment about Yamaha.
Yeah.
When in the presentation, again, one of these sentences they say that you catch it was Lee Jarvis said, we have realized that we have to help Maverick more inside the garage, helping more. So we will, this will be one of the changes this year, that he will get our fully support. Obviously, immediately I asked Lynn Jarvis, hang on, Lynn, this is Maverick's 5th year with you. Have you realized this now?
Yeah.
After 4 years.
You weren't giving him your full support for the last 4 years?
So basically, and Maverick said also this, he said, now with Valentino out of the garage, I want that the 20 or 22 people who normally work in the box work like a team. And then he said something that was not possible with Valentino.
Right. Yeah. Because you always had Valentino's team and then the rest of the team.
And Valentino, what we said, he sucks the air out of the room.
Yes. Yeah.
There is no grass that grows around Valentino's yard, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So hearing Maverick saying this so clearly, it's clear that the words of Lee Jarvis meant while Valentino was here, he was the one.
Weren't able to,
Yep. But it's weird. The ghost is still there because he's still at the the SRT team.
Yeah, but here at the garage, and this is important.
Yeah.
And again, that was fantastic. Another thing was, the 2 riders, like you said, the 2 riders are working together. Maverick, what do you like?
I like when you do this. Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Look, I just was waiting for them grabbing their hands together, like kids. La, la.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That actually was one of the questions. Sorry, somebody said, was it? They asked Alex Marquez, Why is your favorite color blue?
You're kidding.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was.
Big hitting questions.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
late the chick too. She said to Fabio, she goes, I hope you don't mind, but I'm gonna ask you some really personal questions. Why the number 20? And he just went, because I was born on the 20th of April. Because I went, oh, this is gonna get good.
Yeah.
Why the number 20?
And did you hear how Marcus explained his number 73?
No.
He said like, well, it's my birth year minus the day I was born, and what comes out. Very interesting.
So convoluted.
That's brilliant. Or it was just a spare number, so you got it, maybe.
Yeah. That was
I'm
left over.
just going back to Maverick. I'm very interested to see psychologically how much stronger he will be without being in VR 46 Shadow.
Yeah.
Yes, this will be interesting. He's I did an interview with him and one-to-one yesterday with Maverick, and I have to tell you that probably I can throw away what I spoke with him. It was like completely flat.
Right.
And I asked him, one of the things I asked him was, Maverick, normally last year I heard you saying many times, I wake up every morning thinking in being a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, well, I'm not thinking in the championship. I'm just thinking in working. And
yeah.
And I tell you something. This nice and happy flowers atmosphere in the garage, Fabio Quartararo has said, off the record, I have to, how do you say what the dogs do in the corner? Shh. Pee.
Oh, yep. Do a pee. Yep.
I have to pee in the garage to show where
is turf.
Mark his area, mark his territory. Yeah.
Exactly. Mark his territory.
Yep.
He said, I have to do this as soon as possible to mark my territory.
Yeah.
So just wait after the first day of testing. Yes.
Yeah. I almost feel sorry for Maverick. Like, realistically, he's been in the shadow of Rossi for so long, and then Quartararo is going to come along and stands a chance of maybe going over the top of him as well. And
but Valentino is Valentino, okay, and Quartararo is nothing so far. On the other side, when Maverick arrived, Valentino was there. Now the one who is there is
Maverick.
him. So and it's his 5th year.
But he's not really there, is he? Like, he's not really.
He hasn't proven anything.
Well, he lives. He has been living in that apartment for 5 years already,
and he still hasn't put the lights up properly.
So we will see. Because look, Maverick has the speed. It's incredible. Look, to be champion, you need 3 things, in my opinion: the speed, the consistency, and knowing what is to be a champion. Maverick has the 3. The speed he has, because I went through all the FP4s last season. In this lockdown, I had a lot of time. And he has always had the speed, the pace for the race on Saturday. Always. And he has, when he comes to do one lap, he's also fast. The problem is his consistency, because he also knows what is to be champion, because he's a world champion, which, Andrea, is so important, you know, to know, to feel yourself, I made it. This takes like
it's got to just lift you up and
stone. Stone out of your backpack.
Yeah.
And Maverick knows this. What is lasting is the consistency. So
mental consistency. He switches.
Look, I know that maybe I'm talking too much and it's going too long, but I think it's interesting. Look,
it's where we get the good stuff. Keep going.
Yep.
Jorge Lorenzo, when he arrived in Yamaha, had the same problem. He did start very bad, and he was good in practice and fast, but then he suddenly realized, because Lorenzo was thinking, said, okay, I have this problem. I have to fix it. How can I fix it? Being more aggressive in the first 5, 6, 10 corners.
That's right. Yes, I remember this.
Corners.
Yep.
So he learned to be very aggressive, which he wasn't before. what happened? That he had some crashes too. You will remember with Simoncelli in Assen.
Mhm.
In the first laps, he had some crashes because he needed to make his way through the package.
Yep.
So then when he saw this, he thought, too dangerous. I need to learn how to start.
Yep.
And he started to practice in turn into the best starter in the MotoGP.
Yeah.
And I explained this to Maverick. And I tell you, look, the same happened with Jorge, this and this and this.
Did he listen?
And then I asked, Claire, of course, imagine if a rider would like to hear this from anybody, especially a journalist.
Yeah.
So I told him,
whatever.
I just shut him and I said, don't you think you are not aggressive enough at the beginning?
Yeah.
And he simply didn't. He said to me, no, because I start okay. The problem is that
Everyone else starts better.
No, he said that we have problems for stopping the bike.
The bike problems.
The bike at the first part of the race.
Mm.
And I said, but it's not the start. I am meaning the first corner.
You don't need to stop yet.
Are you aggressive enough? And I don't remember what he answered, but Andra,
yes.
Go to last year's race in Qatar on YouTube. I know now that you are subscribed to MotoGP.com.
Yes.
You mean
you
2019?
You can watch different cameras on board. So look at the camera watching from the helicopter.
Yep.
And have an eye on Maverick Viñales. There you will exactly see what I mean. And then you will understand everything.
Okay.
Yep. Indeed.
Do it. It's very interesting.
Cool. All right. Look, another amazing conversation there. Thank you so much, boss. That's been absolutely wonderful. We've broken down the teams. We've broken down who we're going for. We've broken down so much stuff today. Any final comments before we sign off?
No, sorry for haven't spoken that much.
No, we love it. That's what everyone wants. That's what they want.
Yeah,
did we
do.
hear at all how was Jake Dixon was having a go riding? Has that happened?
I haven't heard. Yeah, I've been looking. That was yesterday and today. I think he was having a ride. Okay. I haven't had any feedback yet, but I'm going to go looking for that, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he went okay and the wrist's feeling okay, and he can get on that bike.
Yep. But yeah, for those.
To start well, because he has candidated himself for the title last year, clearly. So he has just to do the last step.
Yeah. Every time I see that footage, I tear up still. It's horrible. For those people listening and watching, if you haven't had a look at our conversation, with Jake Dixon, check that out. It was very enlightening, and I know I felt so much like being a better person after that conversation. It was something really special. But please share what we're doing, let your mates know, subscribe, because we've got lots more still coming. We're just getting started for this season, right?
That's it. That's right. It's just going to get crazy, that's for sure. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, like it. If you do like it, let everybody know. If you don't like it, let us know. Tell us.
Let us only us know. Let us only us know.
There was one guy, he gave us some feedback, and it was something about that lady should either not drink or just keep her mouth shut.
He was talking about me, right?
Probably.
Indeed. All right. It's been absolutely wonderful. Another fantastic episode. Thank you so much, Andra. And any other final words for the fans before we go?
No, send us messages. Just let us know you're there. Let us know what you want to hear.
Indeed.
We love messaging back and getting to know you all around the world.
Indeed, we do.
Let's have fun together. That's what it's all about.
And Manuel, where can they find all of the latest news?
Pecino GP,
PecinoGP.com. PecinoGP.com or PecinoGP.es if you want to get it in Espanol.
If you want to learn Spanish, it's on .es, but Pecino.com is where you find the special stuff.
That's it. And so it might be another couple of weeks before we see you again, but while the testing hots up, make sure you're watching it. Make sure you go and have a look if you haven't seen yet those amazing KTMs, and let's see how quick they are. They are slippery beasts this year. So let's do it all again in a couple of weeks. Stay upright, everybody. Talk to you later.
Adios. Ciao.